Liberalism is a one-armed bandit or slot machine. It has only one lever. It either pays out or it takes your money. It has no other settings. Liberalism fits perfectly the image of a slot machine, for it never creates any money. It simply redistributes the money given to it. It does this in random ways by chance. How can liberalism respond to the issues of the day when all it can do is deprive some people of their money in order to pay it out to others? Liberalism does not have an empirical method of validating its choices. It hasn't got accountability. It works solely on the basis of emotion. Do we believe the cultural ethos of liberalism is the one and only answer to all of life's problems? Liberalism has no other option than respond to triggering events. It has no objective method of validating needs and no means of acquiring an empirical methodology. Think of a homogeneous group. Every member of the group is a clone of the other members. Each member has the same skills, abilities, and needs of all of the other members. There is no variability or diversity. There is no need for the other members because all do precisely what the others do at the same level of ability. Whatever one has, the other has. Whatever the other can do, the one can do. To invest in community, there has to be a payoff. In a community of clones, the community has no glue, for there's nothing to hold it together. There's no reason for anyone to help anyone or to be helped by anyone. If there were four different features belonging to four different groups, and each group was equal of the others in size and the value of its product, there would be a large benefit to trading with the other three groups. There would likewise be some motivation to trade with your group. If you cheated, the other groups would have the means to penalize the fraud. The other groups would cease to trade with a dishonest group. Therefore, each group would have to act ethically with all the other groups or face the penalties. It's only when the difference between groups is substantial, a desire for free exchange exists. If I can paint better than you, and you can play music far better than I, there is a great advantage in our trading with one another. Liberalism starts off on the wrong foot. Liberals hold the wrong assumptions and so come to the wrong conclusions. Since they assume God does not exist, they must move forward on that basis. Everything that exists is unowned, or at least according to liberals. Forests, fields, and seas have no owner. Some writers refer to them as common land. No one owes any payment to anyone for what they do to the natural world. Over time, liberals would see this liberal view was not rational, scaled back their assumptions. And by this we mean liberals have realized that giving things freely without any accountability can be ruinous to the environment. So now liberals argue that even though no one owns the natural world, and there are no intrinsic obligations attached to the ecology of the planet, it makes sense to pretend that we do own it. It makes sense if we all start acting as if human life at least has some kind of intrinsic value, and as if we all have an obligation to preserve human life and the environment on which we all depend. This position is not universal, of course. Many on the left suggest a stronger concern for the environment and a lesser concern for human life is a better position to adopt, but others believe the opposite. But why the environment has any more or less value than human life is never explained. Liberalism and liberal values, liberal opinion is based on emotion, not logic or reason. Environmentalism is just an opinion some liberals have attempted to sell other liberals on, largely by brainwashing children. That the elites do not subscribe to the propaganda of environmentalism for their own families can be seen by the size of their homes and the frequency with which they purchase private jets, not to mention their private cars and all the other consumables they possess. When liberals begin to live in teepees and till the soil with stone implements, their protestations about the sanctity of Mother Earth will be listened to. Until then, the cries amount to nothing but a marketing ploy. With liberals, it is always do as I say, not as I do. Downsizing is for thee, not for me. Indeed, it is difficult not to get the impression that liberals want to decrease the population and the resources we use so as to have more for themselves and their families. As is true for the regular one-armed bandits at the casinos, no matter who wins or loses out on the floor, in the end, it is the house that always wins. And in this case, in case you haven't figured it out for yourself, the house is liberal.